Hi, Virgo. Okay. Did the Cancer reading and the Leo reading, starting off saying nothing. Let's just see what the cards say, and then we'll talk. Take a deep breath. Just relax. This is a Valentine's Day reading, a love reading, if you will. Oh, I don't want to say too much. All right, first up we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. Well, that's right on. This month is all about love. It's all about your ability to take that love and take how you feel about yourself and combine those two things to create a lovely romantic environment. This can be a healing, a coming back together, a deepening of an existing relationship, a redefining of one that may have gone astray, a reconnecting and healing of one that has been torn apart. Virgo is having a resurgence of luck in the love department. This is not always easy for everyone to take because, as we know, Virgo leaves a trail of broken hearts behind them. Speaking of a trail of broken hearts, Nine of Swords to the Ace of Pentacles. As we get towards the middle of the month here, that luck and love energy turns into some misunderstandings as Mercury goes retrograde. The most you can do is exert your best effort now for the next 5 or 6 days towards saying how you feel, getting what you want, and putting yourself in situations where you can be around the person or the thing that you want. And then once we hit the 17th, we have some basic misunderstandings going on. They're so basic that you're thinking this isn't actually a misunderstanding, this is just shade, this couldn't possibly be happening. It is happening, just remember that I said that. Then the Ace of Pentacles and the High Priestess, the King of Wands. If you have a fire sign in your life, whether it be in a professional setting or in a romantic setting, this person has been wanting you to step up a bit, and you have been very happy to stay in your tower. And so there has been some confusion. Now we see that although you are still pulling back in that area, money is flowing to you, and this person or this level of authority in someone is also flowing towards you. You're very, very magnetic. We just want to make sure that what you're magnetizing is all good stuff. Speaking of which, Nine of Pentacles and the Sun, you're very magnetic in terms of love, in terms of money, but with that comes the confusion and the misery that people bring when they're used to leaning on you and they can't get it through their heads that you're going through a better time and that you don't want to be their band-aid all the time. It may be difficult for them to understand that for you, feeling good and having a partner you can be proud of that feels good about you is more important than just about anything, no matter how you portray yourself. So here we have what you can accomplish and what you need to stay away from, and what you don't need to apologize for. So the retrograde comes in and confuses your progress, which is so frustrating because it's like, okay, it's taken a while to get all the ducks in a row. We know that takes a long time for you guys. It's taken a while to think myself back into a space where I would like to try. It's taken a while for me to even imagine a scenario that would be good enough for me, for my family, for my surroundings, for my friends, that works well with me enough for me to even want to pursue it. So if I have taken so long and waited patiently, for the most part, for this big payoff, how strange to feel the big payoff coming on, know that you're making very positive strides, and then boom, just like that, your planet goes into retrograde. I say it's a blessing. I say that just because you have decided now that things get serious and you want to be in a relationship, or that it's time to be in love, however you do it, I say the best thing that can happen is for Mercury to go retrograde and for you to see early on where the holes are, where the flaws are. So you're not doing that thing that can happen with Virgos where they can have a stretch of, 6 or 7 months where they don't see the reality of someone, and then all of a sudden it hits, and then it's like, oh my God, I got attached to someone that I didn't really know well, and now I don't know if I can get out of it, and that person turned out not to be what I thought at all. So Mercury retrograde shows you early on in the thing what you're dealing with, and then you have a choice. You have a chance to decide and make a choice and say, okay, I want this or I don't want this. So it's a really good thing, but it may dampen the morale. What Virgo wants is that consistency. You will have that consistency for 5 or 6 days. You can get as much done as you like, but after that we lose the consistency. But what we replace it with, or what we exchange it for, is a deeper understanding of not just what we are, but who we are, and who we are in the context of love, in the context of relationships, in the context of long-term commitment, marriage, children, all of it. Do we want it? Are we ready? You're ready. Is the other person ready? For those of you who have looked at your life path and decided that you have to be with someone more mature, that you have to be with someone who's willing to make the adult decisions, this is a time where you cut people out and you say, the retrograde showed me that you're never going to grow up, and I don't want that. I want more. It's also a time where the retrograde shows you within yourself what you need to be cutting out. Just like Cancer has to take heed of not being too clingy, like I was saying, you need to take heed to not be too forward. There is a very subtle, fine difference between a Virgo who is happy from the inside out and a Virgo that needs to be made happy from the outside in. There's almost no difference. It's a really, really slight difference, but it's a difference that, it defines a lot. And that difference is palpable in how Virgo goes about seeking attention. So those of you who are happy from within, the way you seek attention is through, your good works or your good deeds. It's not really attention seeking. It's more, I'm showing up, I'm here, I'm responsible, and the attention comes to you. The other way around, where you need that affirmation, external affirmation to keep you going, that Virgo will inadvertently misstep. They don't mean to. It's not done purposefully. but you may find that they are, or that you are overtly sexual, that you are too suggestive, that you are too forward. All of that is only known to you after Mercury goes retrograde, and it shows you like, here you're doing this instead of this. I will give you the same advice, even though you and Cancer are not on the same axis. Your horoscopes are so linked this month, and they're coming up in your reading. It is wise to let the object of your desire come at least halfway down the road to you. It is undignified to throw oneself carelessly at anyone or anything without some sort of condition. This is a very harsh lesson for Virgo to learn, but good thing is money is incredible. So while you're learning this very harsh ego lesson, at least you are bolstered with some good fortune and abundance. And ultimately, it's a lesson you need to learn. So, love you. Let's look.
Hi, Virgo. I don't know how you ended up before everybody, but congrats. Here we go. Your reading was actually pretty extensive, the first part. So really, this is just to show you, and then we're going to go right into the extended. Now, from this vantage point, when you look, and because we're right there at that February 14th mark, those of you who did get called out, do feel called out by needing that affection from the externality in, you may already be feeling very needy today. You know, you've probably already misstepped a few times and been overtly suggestive, and it hasn't worked. And so here we are. I would suggest for you, more than for anyone else, that if you are feeling sad or rejected today, especially because it's Valentine's Day, but just because of what's going on with you guys in your chart, excuse me while I drink something, I suggest you do the same. You want it to go one way and it's going another way, and the object of your desire is not cooperating at the moment. If that is the case, if you are one that is looking for happiness from without to go within, that most certainly may be the case today, then I would suggest that you meditate a bit on this Empress Earth sign archetype. And you realize that as you meditate on this archetype, that you are this, whether you can feel it or not, that it is not your state that changes. You are always this. It is just your ability to see it or recognize it that changes. And if you are one that is happy from within and feeling really good, you may also be confused, but not because you don't feel good about yourself, but because it seems like those who don't feel good about themselves have a lot to say today, or are saying things in the wrong way. It's a testy day. The daily horoscope on Instagram will give you a lot more insight into it. We have the moon in Scorpio today on Valentine's Day, and we have Mercury in Pisces. And so there is a tendency for Virgo to feel more than they can process, feel more than they can articulate. Even if it is good stuff, it can be a bit overwhelming. So if you find yourself in a state of grace where you are receiving clearly enormous amounts of abundance and you are purging the sadness of the past, and yet you still feel uneasy today, first of all, it will subside. But secondly, this is a good day to prepare for the retrograde. The retrograde is going to be all about digging into that part of your past that you, I can't even say really wanted to work out, because I don't think that's how Virgos work. I think it's the part of you that still needs to be made sense of. You can't really move on and reinvent a relationship, get into a new relationship, or even want to get into a relationship if you have lingering hurts, doubts, but most importantly, questions about why things went the way they did. Now, this is basic closure that everyone needs, right? In any interpersonal setting. But Mercury this time around, across from you, wants to get deep into your relationship bag. It wants to ask you really personal questions that you find impolite to ask yourself. So although you may be feeling great, that ickiness that's growing inside of you is just the awareness that really highly intuitive nature that you have is already telling you, things are about to get emotionally uncomfortable. But that's good. We want to be emotionally uncomfortable. As I've said to you many times in the past, what you consider comfort, I consider complacency. And this may be the Virgo moon talking, but I think I'm right. I love you. Let's look at the extended right now. We're going to shuffle through for each of these cards, yeah? See you in a minute. Oh, the rings are back online. You just go to ambercon.com. The High Priestess is there, and so is the Empress. Very easy. We've streamlined the checkout process. And the extended will be on Vimeo, or the same extended you can get as an instant link in your inbox. Please check your spam. Also, tickets for London are still on sale. I have switched the venue to a fabulous mansion setting, which should be amazing. So that link will be below as well. And then I think we're going to do a trivia night in Bushwick in March. So stay tuned for details on that. Let's look at the extended. Love you. Happy Valentine's Day.